Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do what, 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 do what. Don't mean a thing, all you've got to do is sing. Do what, 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 do what. Makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Give that rhythm every little thing you got. It don't mean a thing if it don't swing. Do what, 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 do what. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Shibba-dum-dee, skibba-dum-dee, shibba-dum-dee. Do what? It don't mean a thing. All you got to do is sing. Skip, read, shibba-dum-dee-ba-doo-down. It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Give that rhythm every little thing you got. It don't mean a thing if it don't swing. Do what, 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 do what.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome. Welcome to Jazzabrations Live. You're here rolling with me for an hour. It ain't got, oh my God, y'all hear me, y'all saw me up here jamming, jamming it up. You're here with me on Jazzabrations Live. We're going to be here for 1 hour. I am so excited about my guest today. I bet you can't tell me who that was. But anyway, I am so happy to introduce to you and present to others none other than jazz living legend, Miss Phyllis Battle. Welcome to Jazzabrations Live.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you know, sometimes I always get my rock going on when the song come on. I can't help it.
That's a good thing. I love to see people rocking to my music.
Oh my God! Tell me about what was your inspiration about doing that number?
Well, actually, I was in that. This whole CD called "Battle in Bangkok" was recorded in Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand. And when I was getting ready to leave, the musicians said, "Hey, would you mind if we brought some recording studio in and record our last gig?" And I said, "No, bring it on, as long as I can get a copy."
Oh yes.
And so
that was live.
That was live. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Totally live. There was no rewind. Punch this in, punch that out. No, the whole CD.
One shot, and it became.
That's it.
That was jamming. That was awesome.
Thank
now
you.
we're gonna dive in and we're gonna relax a little bit and tell everybody about who Miss Phyllis Battle is for those of you out there who do not know her. Well, we're gonna settle in. Tell us a little bit. Where were you born?
Well, I was born in Chicago, but I was raised between New York and L.A.
Oh, okay.
So my formidable years were in New York, and when I got to middle school age, my grandparents moved to California, to L.A., so my parents thought, they'd send me out here to go to school, which was a good decision. I had too much time on my hands in New York.
In New York? So you were bouncing back between Chicago and L.A.?
No, L.A. and New York. I was just born in Chicago. I'm still trying to figure out what my mother was doing there that I came. Because I have family there, but I didn't grow up there at all.
So she went
I was
from
a
Chicago
baby.
and then straight to New York?
Yes.
Okay. Well, cool. Do you have any children?
I have one son, Jamal Hassan.
Hello, Jamal. Is he in the business?
No, and I've tried to drag him into it, but
our children never want to follow what we wanted them to do.
No, but he's good. He lives in Atlanta.
Okay.
And if you're listening in, hi boo, I know he's gonna get
Letitia. Her son is in Atlanta with you.
Oh, your daughter lives in Atlanta?
No, a girlfriend of mine, the one who puts our flyers together every week.
Okay, but let me say, he's
married.
Yes. Wait a minute. I don't want to get in trouble.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Just if he wants to have some networking events and stuff to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Letitia Owens there in Atlanta is a marketing strategist. She put together all of our marketing material. So just a shout out to her. She was on the show last week. We did the Foodie Taste Kitchen.
Right.
That was her.
Oh, okay.
Learned that I'm a foodie from that show. So I'm enjoying it. Forgot to send you some pictures of our brunch today, honey. We forgot to take pictures. But yes, foodies experience the food. So it's all an experience.
All right.
But anyway, so back to, when did you arrive in California from New York?
Do you really want me to tell you that? Then I have to. Let me just say when the earth was new.
Okay, when the earth was new, that's fine with me. The earth was new when she arrived here in California with us, y'all.
I was, in just getting ready to go to high school, coming out of junior high. I was in junior. I came here in the 8th grade, and so. So
when did you start singing? Were you singing before?
Oh my goodness, yes. Well, yes. And growing up in New York, I got the Apollo experience, the Apollo theater experience, because when I was a little girl, my mother used to take me to the Apollo all the time. Wow. So I got to see, everybody who was everybody. And then because when I graduated from high school, I went back to New York. And I used to be at the Apollo Theater every Wednesday night.
So you got the bug then, early on?
Very early, as a very little girl, yeah.
All righty then. Well, I know that we have a show coming up.
Yes.
In Women's History Month in March. And so you guys get over, all of you in Facebook land, if you go to Phyllis Battle on Facebook, or you go to the Women's History Month page on Facebook, you will see the event. But also when we put the flyer up, when we go to break on a song, take a look at it, because she is going to be having a phenomenal show March the 2nd at the World Stage. I will miss it. I'm going to hate that I'm going to miss it, but I'm going to be there for the next one.
All right.
So we're going to dive into another song real quick, because I want you guys to take a listen to this vocalist voice and get in tune with it so that you could go out. And now, your CDs, are they available for purchase online?
www.phyllisbattle.net.
phyllisbattle.net. You can pick these CDs up. And when we go to we're going to go to another song, and we'll be right back here on Jazzabrations Live this afternoon with my guest, Miss Phyllis Battle.
Dream of you in all I do. Each note I play, each word I say. Passion haunts me in the night, so I must make the midnight light. Back to the love I know can make sleepless nights, these endless flights, each day alone, each street I roam. Lovers taunt me in the night, so I must make a midnight light. Back to the love I know will hold me. Apart, yet in my heart, your love's with me. Through all I see, endless yearning in the night, so I must make a midnight light. Back to the love you bring in more. I do. Each note I play. Each word.
Yes, we're back with Linda Morgan here on Jazzabrations. Like, I'm just so sorry when I get into my jazz. I just have to feel it, y'all. That was Night Flight. Tell me about Night Flight with Mr. Cedar Walters
and Mr. Billy Higgins and Mr. Tony Dumas on bass. Yes. That you have some things in life that are just anointed that you absolutely had nothing to do with. Well, that was this project. Back in the day, I did a vocal workshop at Billy's studio because a friend of mine started the workshop, Cynthia Utterbach. She started the vocal workshop there, but she got a call to go to Germany, and she kind of just said, "Hey, Phyllis, I got to go. You take it." And I was like, no. And actually, it was one of the best decisions I made in my life, and because Billy came up to me one day and said, I think I'd like to do a CD on you. And I said, oh, that's great, and he said, and I'll be the executive producer. I said, oh my God, that's more than great. Oh, yes. So that's how that came about. And he, got Cedar Walton and Tony Dumas, and we went in the studio, and all of this, it also was no punching in. There was one thing that was punched in, and it's on the end of this tune. But other than that, everything was, a 1, 2, 3, hit it.
And you just went on.
And we all, I was with the big guns. I was going to go wherever they took me if I could hang on.
Well, it was amazing. It sounds very good.
Thank you.
All my listeners out there, these CDs, both of her CDs are available on phyllisbattle.net. Write that down, phyllisbattle.net. So we will come back to, who were some of your influences early on when you started singing, when you got the bug?
Sarah Vaughan, Dinah Washington, Carmen McRae, Nancy Wilson.
Her birthday was the other day.
Nancy Wilson was still is. She's just my all-time favorite. I just thought she was a vocal gymnast, and I just loved the way she presented her treatments of her songs.
Have you covered any of her songs?
I really haven't, because I had to first, when I started out, I mimicked her so much. And I went to see this agent one time, and he said, you sound good, but, why should anyone hire you when they can get the real deal, which was Nancy Wilson. So it took me a while to develop me, and I just never got back around to
covering one
of her songs, because my career took me off on, a whole lot of other roads. Out on the road, I was with the Fifth Dimension for 16 years, and then I traveled with Frank and Nancy Sinatra and Donna Summers, and so I was kind of off, all that I was doing took me away from jazz.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hearing that we have a caller. Someone's calling in to say hello to us today.
Oh,
welcome to the show, caller. Who's calling in?
Hello?
Hi.
This is Arsenia.
Hi, Arsenia. How are you?
I'm fine. Where's Miss Battle?
Girl, this is my friend from New York.
Phyllis, I am so proud of you.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm looking at both of you ladies right now.
All right. Well, this is my friend. I don't know if you remember when I got the Jazz Legend Award. Linda.
She's been at this forever, okay?
All right now.
Oh,
she has been at this since she was about 16, 17.
Wow. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm going to hang up so other callers can call in. I love you, Phyllis, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you for calling in, Cini. Give my love.
Okay.
Give my love to everybody.
I sure will, baby.
All right.
All right, bye-bye
And please
now.
tune in with us and share us with your friends all over New York, please.
Okay.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
sure will.
All righty. Well, yes, that's our call-in number. It's 323-293-3375. We'd love to hear you call in and say hello. We will interrupt our conversation for you callers anytime. So call right on in if you please. We'll jump back in. Now, tell me about the show that's coming up at the World Stage. How does that come about?
How did it come about?
Yeah.
I actually, it came about, Dwight Tribble runs the World Stage now, and I've always admired Dwight, always. And back in the day, we were all out there scrambling, trying to, do something, get somewhere. And so when a mutual friend of ours, Laquita Shamley, was talking with him, and somehow the conversation came up about me doing a gig at the stage, and I said, sure, I'd love to do one. Yes.
Absolutely. The World Stage right here in the heart of Leimert Park on Degnan.
And that's like going home, in the sense of, because the vocal workshop that my friend put in my lap, and then from that came, Night Flight, the CD, and My Place also, because not only was Billy the executive producer of my CD, but he also was my mentor, and he really pushed me to, get out there and do things, and so he inspired me to open up my own studio, which was Jafil's.
Jafil's, right next door to his,
right
to the
next
World
door
Stage.
to his, yes.
Oh
yes.
my God! I was not in Leimert Park in them at days, but I heard there was so much music going on. There was so much jazz between the Place and Fifth Street Dicks, and
yes,
it was just the place to be back in the day.
Yes, it was.
And so I'm grateful for Dwight Tribble. He's taking over the stage, and he is doing an incredible job.
Yes, he is.
Thank you, sir. Another one of our jazz legends that have been honored in our series. We are up to 138.
Wow.
In the past 8 years.
Wow.
So I'm grateful that God has given me the vision to be able to continue to do this work, because Buddy Collette started me down this path.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you a quick story. He had a website, buddycollette.com, before he passed away. And the website had his music on it. When he passed, somehow his website got transferred to somebody who was selling books. I was so hot. I was so livid. I got a hold to his daughter, Cheryl. I said, Cheryl, we got to get Buddy's domain name back. Lo and behold, fast forward, I had purchased his .net and his .org, because of anything as a musician, as a person of influence, you want to own. You see how it's got www.morrismediastudios.com?
Exactly.
You want to own phyllisbattle.com.net.org. And I see you have your phyllisbattle.net. And so just the other day, I had forgot to renew his domains, called GoDaddy. They said, that'll be $480.
Oh.
I started crying. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, I'm just trying to do this work of keeping these legacies alive. I don't have $480 to renew this domain, right? The guy said, hold on. He went and talked to his boss and came back. He said, how about $55
wow.
and 81 cents? I said, yes, I got that. Thank you. But the importance of how this work started with him and me losing his domains, it just made me go into shock. I got to call Cheryl. Cheryl, if you're out there listening, I'll be calling you before I leave town, because I need to transfer those domains so that you can take responsibility of having her dad's names, so that no one can put his music out there in internet land without her permission. Right. They can't do it if they don't have the domain name.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that was important to me. But so do you have any? I asked you, did you have any relatives in the business Any?
My older brother was in the business. He was my first mentor. He played drums. As a matter of fact, one of his biggest thrills was when he first came out, and I introduced him when he found out I knew Billy Higgins.
Oh, the drummers! Yes.
Oh my God! And they were in the same age range. My brother was like 15 years older than me. So, and he didn't. He well, life happens, and he got married, and the children started coming along. And my mother told him one day, said, "No, honey, you have to go get a real job.
You can't be no drummer.
You can't be messing around with this drums. You got to go get a real job."
Okay, well, Phyllis, you are very popular today, dear. We have someone else calling in.
Oh, great.
Welcome to the call. You're online with Linda Morgan, your host of Jazzabrations Live, and my guest, Phyllis Battle, who's calling. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is Laquita Chambly. I was just calling. You ladies are looking great in those hats. I need one of those. Hello?
What color you want? What color you want, Laquita? I give it.
Not the blue. I want the blue.
She's going to take the blue. You can have a red one or the beige one.
I'll take the red.
Okay.
Like red.
You got it. How are you, dear? Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I'll take the blue.
No, you'll take the red. I'm taking the blue.
That's been established there. She's going to take the blue. But how are you, dear? Thank you for calling in. Tell us a little about you.
Yeah, well, I'm just excited to see you all ladies doing what you're doing and taking care of the jazz. And I just want to be a part of cheering you on and, just sitting here enjoying the interview.
Okay. Well, what are you doing on March the 4th? You want to come on and be my guest? Because, I'm going on vacation and I haven't lined up my March guest yet. So I'm going to do that right now before I leave. What you doing on next Sunday? Want to come be my guest? And talk about all what you're doing?
I'm going to be doing some volunteer grant writing for a gallery in Highland Park on that day, so it may not work out, but I will be in Los Angeles. I'm back and forth between Phoenix and L.A., and very excited about stuff that's happening in Leimert Park, and just cheering you on with what you're doing on behalf of jazz artists as well, Linda.
Oh, thank you so much. I know Miss Phyllis is excited about the show coming up. You'll be there at the show, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I will definitely be there at her show at the World Stage on the 2nd of March.
If I may just interject, Laquita does all of my PR, all of my flyers and things that I do. She's just
you
really
did that wonderful flyer that we have on our brochure, on our flyer.
Yes,
I just took it straight and said, let me just. My graphic artist said, "Why am I putting all that on?" I said, "I want the whole flyer. I don't want just the picture. I want the whole flyer."
And not only is she great at that, she's also a great producer of shows, jazz shows. That's how we kind of met.
Absolutely. Catfish, jazz festival.
No,
she did a jazz festival.
I know she did. She did Mad Catfish.
Catfish. But
also I'm talking about Instrumental Women in Jazz, which is a project that we worked on for several years. And Laquita was the producer of them. I was the writer for them. And on top of that, not only being a great PR person, a great producer of shows, she's also an excellent grant writer. So any of you nonprofit organizations listening out there, you need to go to grantbuilders.com, I think it is, Laquita?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grantbuilders.com. Girl, I need you. Ooh. I got some projects for you.
Yeah,
I got some people who are ready to give me some money, and I'm just hold it off.
Well, I'm excited to be working with, very honored to be working with her, and just very appreciative of what you're doing, Linda. And I'm really excited about the lineup that Phyllis has for her show at the World Stage, and I've had the pleasure, and she actually has a project called Jazz Communion also.
Right.
Which is on the website, which is, just I have met so many legends hanging with this lady, and she's one in her own right. So I just, giving other folks a chance to call in, but I just want to say I'm honored to be a part of it, and just prayerful that I can contribute as much as I can to pushing things along.
Absolutely. Grantbuilders.com. Laquita Chambly, thank you, dear, for calling in. We look forward to doing wonderful things with you in the future.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All
Bye,
right.
Quita.
Well, yes, we have so many people wanting to talk to us. We're going to get to some more music here. We're going to be right back on Jazzabrations Live. I'm Linda, your host. Here sitting there with my good friend, Miss Phyllis Battle. We'll be right back.
My heart is sad and lonely. For you I sigh, for you, dear, only. Why haven't you seen it? I'm all for you, body and soul. I spend my days in longing and wondering why it's me you're wronging. I tell you, I mean it. I'm all for you, body and soul. I can't believe it. It's hard to conceive it that you'd turn away romance. Are you pretending it looks like the ending? Unless I could have one more chance to prove my life a wreck you're making. You know I'm yours for just the taking. I'd gladly surrender myself to you, body and soul.
Okay. Now, what was the name of this cut?
Body and soul.
That's right. Body and soul. And see, when you hear songs like that, it goes through your body, throughout your soul, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
That's a standard, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Who was the original?
Billie
Billie Holiday?
Holiday.
Oh, Billie Holiday. Yes.
Billie Holiday?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean,
Body-
everyone has
done their version of it.
done their version, yes.
Yes, but I like yours. I love it. I love it. I love it.
you.
Well, we have another caller. We're going to take another caller before we get it back into our
Wow.
questions. Thank you for calling in. I'm your host, Linda Morgan.
Hi there. This is Dorian from Chicago. How are you guys doing
Hi,
today?
Dorian. You have a homegirl here from Chicago.
Yes, yes.
Hi.
So, Phyllis, I just want to ask you, you have such an incredible career. Are there any thoughts of you one day doing an autobiography of, telling some of the stories and your, what you've been through as an artist?
That's interesting you say that because, yes, I do. And yes.
You just perked up some feelings and some emotions I just saw. What happened there, Miss Phyllis?
Yes.
You are in the works, or?
Well, no, but in my mind, I have some ideas of doing that, but doing it in a different way than most people do it. And yeah.
Well, I'm happy to say that this is my friend Dorian Nash, producer, director extraordinaire, calling from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for calling in, dear. She has a radio show on
great.
Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Her and her husband. They've been married for 17 years, Dorian, or 27?
It'll be 18.
18 years.
We just celebrated 18 years.
18 years, and they do a radio show, say, "Do you still love me?"
I love it.
Well, it's do you love me still?
Do you love me still after 18 years? Yes, they still love each other after 18 years.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you for sharing that, Linda. We've been guest hosting on that radio show. We don't have our own show yet, but it's in the works. And right now we are preparing to do a stage production of the same name.
Oh, that's right. So I asked you that question on Facebook. Are you looking for characters out in Chicago or here in L.A.?
So right now it is a local production.
Okay.
So unless somebody's willing to stay here in Chicago while I'm coming from L.A., I couldn't afford to pay them anyway, but it's all.
Well, I have a lot of Facebook friends in Chicago, so I'm going to reach out to them now that I know and say, look, that's the production in Chicago. Because I was tagging my actress friends here in L.A. saying, hey, I can get you on this one if you want to. So when you blow up, when you blow up and you go to Broadway, I got you covered with actors here in L.A.
There you go. That's what it's all about. But again, I look forward to hearing about your upcoming book, Phyllis. You are a treasure amongst us, and just in terms of your artistry. So I really hope that you're able to really put that into works. I know that you did some music on the Long Walk to Slavery or Long Walk From, and you did some musical pieces with that.
Yes.
I don't know if that's something that you want to do something similar into your own autobiography, but whatever you do, your audience, your fans are here waiting for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Dorian, please go to my website and send me your email.
Okay.
Okay.
That's phyllisbattle.net.
Girl, I'm already there.
Okay.
Okay, homie.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Nice to talk to you.
Absolutely. And thank you for calling in, Miss Dorian, my buddy of many, many years.
There you go. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, yes, Body and Soul came on, and my friends are listening. Thank you, my friends, for tuning in.
And mine, too.
Yes, and just giving us
from coast to coast.
That's right.
I love it.
Homegirl, Chicago. I forgot she was from Chicago, too.
Yeah, and then my friend from New York. New York is listening.
That's right.
All right.
So let me ask you this. How has this Living Jazz Legend Award impacted you, if at all, since receiving it? When did you get your award?
Actually,
has it been 4 years now? 2014?
Was it 14 or 15? One or the other.
2014.
Sure. Actually, Linda, I have a lot to thank you for, because you inspired me actually to come out of the woodworks, because I hadn't been doing anything for a long time. At one point, I was decided to go back to school. I was doing school, and that's all I was doing, and no music. And but when you
15.
approached me, 15, that's what I thought. When you approached me about Living Legend, it was like, excuse me? and you inspired me to come
over
back.
25 years of body of work.
Yes. But you actually inspired me to come out of the woodwork again and do the things that I'm doing now. That's, last year I started my Jazz Communions events, and I will continue doing them this year, only doing 2 this year.
Well, do you have the dates?
June 24th and September, the last Sunday. It happens the last Sundays of the month.
Okay.
Last Sundays of the month.
Oh.
But you can go on my website, phyllisbattle.net.
And all the information is there.
Everything, you'll find everything there. But, I just, started getting out here doing things again,
Oh,
and I too want to thank you for the work that you have done and it's still are doing, because there's not that much going on with people bringing out jazz and keeping it alive. And I really, really, really appreciate you for that.
Don't make me cry.
You did live. I have some tissues in back here.
Yes, thank you so much.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth.
It's been a journey in helping to just help with the work of keeping jazz and blues alive. This bug started with me almost now 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. And even before that, if I go back to 2004 with Al Williams at the Long Beach Jazz Festival, that's where it really started and the bug started churning. Mm-hmm. But I didn't necessarily get into straight ahead jazz. It wasn't until he asked me to be his manager. Mm. And I was like, straight ahead jazz. I don't know nothing about straight ahead jazz other than the fact that my brother used to play Hugh Masekela all the time. Okay. I used to wake up to that. I said, okay. So when he asked me to be his manager, it became really interesting for me to try to find him work here in LA.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
You know, I was combing through festivals and combing through clubs and just saying, why y'all not playing no straight ahead jazz? What's going on here in this city? So after doing that for a year, I kind of wore me down a little bit, and I was like, I can't do this managing stuff. That's how my first card I had on there, manager. I chucked that card and I said, let me do promotion. Let me do legacy preservation. Because, something happened where somebody was trying to steal somebody's legacy right up underneath them, and they were alive. So I said, well, wow, what's happening to people that's dead? If people are so bold as to try to steal somebody's legacy while they're alive, ain't no telling what they're doing for the dead. So that's how Living Legend Foundation came about.
When you say that your brother you used to wake up listening to Hugh Masekela, I used to wake up listening to Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Roy Haynes, Kirkland, just all of those giants. So jazz was instilled in me before I even got out the door, and even I used to really get ticked off because I didn't want to hear that, not knowing that seed was being planted. Exactly. And even when I got with pop groups and out on the road with them, everywhere I would go, no matter where, and thank God there's no wood around them. Is this wood? Okay. Thank God I've been around the world. And every place I've ever gone, I'd always seek out the jazz club. Mm-hmm. Where's the jazz clubs? And unfortunately, there are places outside of the United States that appreciate our music more than we even appreciate our music right here. Right. And we created it. Mm-hmm. What hurts my heart is that a lot of our own people don't even support it
or understand it to support. Mm-hmm. And so that's why when I started, if most people know me early on, I had a logo. Smooth Ahead was the logo, because I was working at the festival and it was all about smooth jazz, but Al was a straight ahead player. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I would tease him and say, you ain't no straight ahead player, you smooth ahead. Mm-hmm. You smooth ahead. Mm-hmm. So there birthed the term smooth ahead. And so when I started on this quest of now wanting to promote and bring my jazz, my group, my age group into straight ahead jazz, they only followed me because I had the word smooth. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So everything I had did was smooth ahead production, smooth ahead promotion. And so they thought when they came to my shows, they was going to hear some smooth jazz. They got some straight ahead jazz.
Well, what I found out was that I need to give a little bit of, a little
everything.
Yeah, especially people want to bob their head and pat their foot every now and then, so I do the jazz and then I sneak in something, that's has more of a pop feel or something, to kind of even it out.
Oh yeah, for a full show, yes, you gotta mix it up. Right. And so, if you could think of an influence, someone who you would want to play with in the past, someone who's no longer here with us that you wish that you could have sung with, who would that person have been?
Duke Ellington.
Duke Ellington. Mm-hmm. The Duke Ellington Society. Hey y'all, I'm on the board of the Duke Ellington Society.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. That's my other life.
Wow.
And we every April and December we celebrate his birthday.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. I'm telling you, Duke, first of all, he was just I just love class, and he was just class all the way. His music was class. He was class. So back in the day, if I could have worked with
I wish
anyone,
I had met him. That's one of the people I wished I really had met. So then what about somebody here presently? Who would you like to either accompany you or you sing with them? Or
wow, there's so many.
Say if you wanted to do a duet with someone, what male vocalist would you want to do a duet with?
Huh. Wow.
Presently? Have you and Dwight ever done a duet?
We have.
Oh, okay.
We have
Okay.
on back in the day, on the shows. But I was gonna say someone who just recently passed, which was Kevin Mahogany.
Oh yes.
I really did like him. His
music.
Yeah, I liked his style, but I'll take Dwight.
Oh yes, do a duet with Dwight. That'd be awesome.
Dwight. And a friend of mine, Greg Walker, I'd also do. Greg is.
I've heard his name.
Greg is awesome. Greg was with Santana for 10 years, and then I met him. He was in the Fifths for a little while too, with the Fifth Dimension, yeah. And he's an awesome vocalist, and we have done shows together where we're doing. As a matter of fact, in June, the show that's coming up for my jazz communion.
He's going to be on there with you?
Greg is going to be on there with me. Yeah, he's going to be my special guest. And, of course, anytime we get together to do anything, we do duets.
Oh,
together.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. Save the date, June 25th.
No, I think it's 24th, the last Sunday
the last
of
Sunday
the month.
in June, Jazz Communion.
But go to phyllisbattle.net, and then you will
get the exact date.
Yes.
Exactly. So now, besides your gig coming up on the 2nd, March the 2nd at the World Stage, are you performing locally anywhere else?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So anyone listening, I'm available.
That's right. She's always available to be booked.
Except for my Jazz Communion things coming up.
That's right.
Yeah.
So to make sure your dates don't conflict when you call it, when you want to book her. We're going to go into another song right now. We're going to take a little short pause for the calls and listen to another Phyllis Battle wonderful hit, and we'll be right back, y'all.
to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing, sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be other words, darling, I love you. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, baby, I love you.
Yes, 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 yes. If she would sit here telling me about this experience in Bangkok, you would not even guess that was just a one-take CD play. That sounds incredible.
The guys just, asked me if they could bring the recording equipment in on our last gig. And I said, sure, And we just, we were doing a show, our regular nightly show, and just recorded it.
That is hot. Phyllis battle in Bangkok.
And I have to give my brother a shout out. He, God rest his soul, he's no longer with us, but he loved it and took it and produced it. He's the one he's the producer on
Your brother?
This. My brother. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And that's what it takes. It just takes collaboratively us putting ourselves together and and when I thought about doing this work, I thought about always creating an avenue.
Mm-hmm.
It was one thing for me to think about honoring the jazz and blues legends and bringing them out from, I know I was pulling some of them from outside of the obscurity of their home. They was coming, kicking and dragging.
Hello, you pulled me. I
felt it was so important for our generation to know all the treasures that have committed at least 25 or more years to this music that we don't know nothing about. Mm-hmm. My generation, 50 plus, we were into smooth jazz, of course, because like I said, I came from that smooth jazz era. I said so, but it was so important to me to pull them out and introduce them to them. So even if they don't know nothing about the music, when they came to a show, and I would always tell them, before you come to the show, Google them. Mm-hmm. Google them, Google them, Google them. A lot of them, there was no information on the internet because the work that you guys have done was pre-internet. Mm-hmm. So nobody put your information into this information highway for the next generations to keep up with it. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm so excited about this young kids generation right now that are fired up. They're now, like the little young boy said, we're now at the age where we can vote. Mm-hmm. So now we can do something about it. Same thing with us in our generation. We're at the age now where we can pump this internet with information. Just even do Siri. Hey Siri, who is Phyllis Battle? Siri, come back and tell me.
Unlock your iPhone first.
She tell me I need to unlock my iPhone first. But you see the technology that we have to just do the search, do the homework, to put the information in the internet so that we can start putting our treasures, our legends into the internet so other people, the world, as you said, all overseas, they got our music in crates, they playing our music all over and that's what I'm doing.
You know, if I may interject, when I was in Bangkok, every last one of those musicians playing on that CD were Russian. That some of them did not even know how to speak English, but they had been studying our music for so long that you heard them.
Yes.
They can play. I mean, I was shocked when I realized, that, wow, these are Russian musicians sounding like...
They straight up born with jazz.
Born in Harlem or Watts. Or
Trust and believe.
Yes.
And so the legacy preservation of our music is so important to me. That became the platform for me to want to get this out to everybody. We need to preserve the legacy.
Yes.
We need to know who the players were.
And again, I thank you for preserving it, girlfriend. Thank you.
No, it's been my pleasure, and it's been my journey. I have 4 more years on this journey, and I'm publicly putting out because I believe in what I put in the universe will return to me. Right. I'm doing this for 4 more years, and then the next years of my life will be spent traveling abroad because I've never been abroad listening for jazz. Mm. So I'm going to go and travel the world and look for jazz all over the world and tell my story about jazz all over the world because I want to find all the hidden places where jazz is. Like I'm going in the Bahamas this coming up week. I'm going to find me some jazz in the Bahamas. I don't know where y'all at. If you hear me on my show, look me up. I'm going to hit my page. I want to find some jazz while I'm in Bahamas. But with that cut right there was an excellent ballad.
Thank you.
I want to hear one more cut from that Bangkok. As she said, these musicians were Russian. What you do? You put it away? Okay, don't worry about it. But that CD, for there to be just Russian musicians on it, and the music sounds so good, like you wouldn't believe. It's amazing.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing that I love about music.
We'll go out on the song on that CD.
That even though you can't even speak the language, music is a language of its own.
Yes, it is.
So it was just a matter of putting my charts down there. Every musician is going to read music, But even with that, we were so off my charts.
Got a phone call?
No, we got a Bangkok.
Okay.
Well,
we live, y'all.
Hey, even with I forgot what my point was. Even I was talking about. even though they created their own treatment.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Even though I gave them basically what it ended up, even though I drug all my charts there, it ended up being more of, well, what's your key? And treatments just
and they just took it and ran
made
with
their
it.
own. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the beauty of jazz anyway.
Yes.
April,
improvisation.
Right. April has now been dedicated to Jazz Appreciation Month. Mm-hmm. So we have a whole month in April to appreciate jazz. So I'm calling all our listeners to go out to the world stage. The world stage will have something every Friday and Saturday. Some of the best jazz, blues, and jazz legends on the planet right here in LA. Barbara Morrison's on the first Thursday. She has some of the best blues in LA. So patronize in April for April Jazz Appreciation Month. If you don't do it for any other month, let's make an economic impact in the jazz arena in the month of April.
Amen to that.
I have a Jazz in the Sky in April coming up at the City Club in tribute to Mr. David Cunningham Jr., who was a board member of the City Club who left us. And I just joined the City Club and was able to put together a 4-series gig. So I have January the 20th, we just did one. I have April the 28th. I have July the 14th, and then I have a date in October. So I really want to put together where I can have several of my jazz legends come in and play on one of these events, but it's just the intricacies of how I can put this together there at the City Club, because of course I'm getting the money so I can pay, so I got to figure out how I'm going to get the money to be able to pay my artist that's going to come and present on this show. So stay tuned. April 28th, July 14th, we're going to have Les McCann. He already agreed. And then October the 7th. So stay tuned with us. Thank you for riding with us here today. My wonderful guest, Miss Phyllis Battle, at phyllisbattle.net. You will find all of her information. March the 2nd, ladies, show up at the world stage. Show up and show out. I can't be there with you,
ladies,
but show there.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies
please.
and gentlemen. But it's Women's History Month, so we must show up and show out on 1 month out of the year, okay? Thank you guys for rolling with me here on Jazzabrations Live here at Morris Media Studios. I'm thanking my guests, my in-studio guests, my engineers, LaRon and Mr. Johnny Morris. Thank you for riding with us, sister, today. As always, we're going out on Route 66.